Okay. I'm just gonna run some clips that show to why mainstream media cannot be believed or why the trust is gone. And if you haven't lost trust yet, you might lose it after seeing enough of those fake reportings. So I'm just gonna start with the first one.
And just a final question here. Is there any sort of work being done with the airlines in order to get flights actually on time or not delayed as much? Just curious if there's any work happening there.
Yes. So we've seen almost a doubling in terms of improvement on-time performance since last year. That is a reflection of all the work that we've done across the ecosystem together with our partner airlines, with agencies, reducing processing time, reducing wait times, and fine-tuning operations with our air carrier partners. And we see the great results that have come from that.
Thank you.
The great results that come from that. It's all delayed, all processed, and the camera operator were probably not meant to show you the reality. But she was talking as like everything is fine, there are no delays, everything is getting better. So that's just one. Right, so let's go to the next.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands. This is about as nasty as it's been. We had some bands like this last night, and then the eyewall this morning, we were not on TV. It was the dark and raucous.
The Weather Channel is now responding to reports that one of their reporters was essentially faking it during his coverage of Hurricane Florence.
Probably seen the video on Facebook as that reporter struggles to keep his balance.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intracoastal, and we're in one of these bands.
So that's Mike Seidel in Wilmington, North Carolina. But as he braces and fights the wind Friday, check out the two guys who seem to walk right by him in the background there with no trouble at all. The video has been shared more than 1 million times on social media. So now a spokesperson for the Weather Channel is defending Seidel, saying it's important to note that the two individuals in the background are walking on concrete while Seidel tries to maintain his footing on wet grass. The spokesperson goes on to say Seidel was exhausted after reporting on air until 1 a.m.
Yeah, explanation being it's the wet grass. So like all this fakeness and all this fake acting towards like, oh, it's so dramatic, and in reality it's like, and then the explanation given is like, it's the wet grass that he was standing on. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go to the last one. Probably some of you saw this one already, but for anyone that hasn't.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories that simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 Yep. So that's just one example, but you can see how it's scripted. So they're all getting the same script, and you cannot only see it in mainstream media, but you can see it on online news articles from different news sources, like how they all kind of just cover the same topics. So you get one topic and covered by 3 different channels the same way. And you see that in mainstream media, but you can also see it online. So if you pay attention and if you notice it. So you rarely see a news channel actually covering something independently. And you oftentimes have like media blackouts or like things that should be covered but are absolutely not covered. You can see how oftentimes they cover it in a way that it seems different from what it is, like we saw in the first video with the airplane departures and the timings. So you can see that oftentimes too, where it's just recorded from angle as it makes it look as there were a lot of people, or that they make it seem like there are basically no people, just by using a different kind of angle and then or shooting it from a different kind of direction. So they do all those like little tricks. It's really good if you have like social media too. So if there are people that are actually in the same event as the news channels, then you can actually see how the reality or the truth in media or other people that broadcast that event or who are around that. And you can see even like how news channels, if they are recorded by other people who broadcast on social media, you can actually see how they do it live, how they fake things live. Yeah. So that's just in the regard of mainstream media and why it can't really be trusted. And I see you in the next video.